28 Years is a bad zombie film and ruins the franchise. If you think it's about zombies, then you may have completely missed the point. But first, it followed because I overanalyze films so you never have to. These films have never been about zombies because firstly, they're just not. It's about sick individuals consumed by rage, and since the first film, it's always been a character study on how a virus can bring out the monster in everyone, infected or not. And I think that's what people miss because each film in the series just shows us how illness can warp humanity. So in 28 Days Later, Selena becomes ruthless out of fear she could perish, and then that's why she takes out her friend. A loving father, Frank, loses himself in a split second due to a singular drop. Like, it just shows us that nurture cannot override nature. The army who were created to protect people invert their beliefs and instead harm them. If anything, the infected are a plot device to force people to run. So if you're here to catch endless chasing over being made to think and reflect, you're always going to dislike these films. In fact, I flat out believe you could be simple-minded and maybe better off watching a brain-dead action film with loud noises and explosions where everything is spelled out for you. If you do want a simpler story, then watch 28 Weeks Later. That's a film with limited depth and just constant running. But even that title itself shows the conflict of self-preservation. Like, you have a mother who almost represents purity, immune to the virus, and the conflicted General Stone who doesn't know if this could lead to a cure or endanger the world. Like, that's real. And you know, he's forced to discard his humanity and give the order to contain the virus, while one of his soldiers reflects, rejects, and protects. Lo and behold, like any virus, it spreads, pushing us to 28 years later. And that's a film dedicated to trauma, abuse, and medicine. Things that make you think. And the very fact that the virus has evolved and it's people learning to live with it, it just shows the resilience of humanity. They are the white blood cells in the body of the world. And it's about a son and a father navigating fidelity, maturity, and cancer, which almost represents this persistence of reality telling us it doesn't care how good or bad our lives are, it will take us when it wants to take us. And down to the alpha showing the human adaptation to nature, regaining his sense of self, and ultimately having his illness suppressed. You know, with the imagery of child abuser Jimmy Savile foreshadowing the villainy of Jimmy Crystal, our minds are forced to see him as the villain in an instant, despite us knowing like he was the son of a preacher who went crazy. He is a victim too. But we're now witnessing arguably schizophrenia in the apocalypse, spurred on by trauma gone untreated. The Bone Temple, in a sense, is about breaking cycles, fixing what is broken, and returning to the origins conveyed with the return of Jim, who is teaching his daughter world history. You know, combine that with Rudyard Kipling's poem about soldiers in an endless war, you know, boots, boots, boots. The third chapter is perhaps giving us the conclusion that this bad zombie film and great character study on human behavior in an apocalyptic world has a resolution. But I don't know, maybe I'm the simple-minded one. What do you think?